This is not just one individual harassing you. This is a systemic YouTube-wide problem, and it's not by accident. It is the product of YouTube's choices and the way that it chooses to not enforce its anti-harassment policy. This isn't happening on every platform. It's happening on the platforms that abdicate the responsibility to enforce the policies that they've created.
Let's all be honest. Nobody wants to be harassed. I don't want to be harassed. You don't want to be harassed. But when you get on a public platform like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, you know that there's going to be harassment. I have been and am being harassed right now, somewhere online. There are plenty of videos where you can pull up people harassing Brian Young at High Impact Flicks. But what's my response as an adult to that? My response would be, or is, I just ignore it. I have one YouTuber who came out against me and said because my logo is circular, and then he overlaid it with that IHS Jesuit priest symbol. I mean, what do you do? Calling me a shillbilly, calling me all kinds of names, using a lot of ad hominems. The two words that come into my mind when something like that happens, for anybody, including me, is, so what? I don't have to watch it. Now, it enters kind of a gray area, and I'm just saying kind of because for me it's not a gray area, where when somebody has their social media site hooked up with their, maybe somebody gets a hold of your cell phone number or your email address, and then there's this, your email gets flooded with people saying bad things about you. But even then, you can delete them. They're not going to be there forever. Normal people, and I'm not saying the world's filled with normal people by any means, but normal people don't continue to just harass and harass and harass when you don't respond to it. Matter of fact, one of the worst things that you can possibly do when you're being harassed is to respond to it, because then it brings other people out of the woodwork, and then you begin to get harassed even more. And Carlos Maza is finding this out. The more you resist it, the more you fail to go along with it, the worse it gets for you. Right before I did this video right here, I pulled up what a white person would consider offensive. I pulled up, I don't know if you remember, back in the 80s, Eddie Murphy had this comedy show called Raw. He would travel throughout the country. It was called Raw, and Eddie Murphy, to me, is a funny guy. I don't know what percentage of his skit or his routine dealt with making fun of white people, the way they walk, the way they talk, the things that they do, how they look. To me, it is absolutely hilarious to listen to a black guy impersonate and make fun of a white guy. I don't know about you. And then some people would go, "Oh yeah, Brian, yeah, it's easy for you to say because you're not marginalized. You're not in that group that gets, a constant barrage of abuse and harassment, and people look down on you, and you're marginalized." I don't think that matters. I think the question is, how thin-skinned do you want to be? And when I say want to be, being thin-skinned is a choice. Deciding to be offended is a choice. Even if somebody made fun of your mother or your wife or your girlfriend or your kids, what are you going to do when you're in public? You're going to punch them out? Oh, that's a real smart move. You're going to assault them because they hurled insults at you. Guess who's going to jail? It's not the guy who hurled insults at you. It's you, because you punched some guy and bloodied his nose or broke his jaw. So it's like sticks and stones it sounds cliche, I know. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. The only time they can hurt you is if you let them. If you let that person occupy the space in between your ears. That's when harassment, online harassment, what is that? You don't even have to get on the computer, let alone go to a website. If you get offended at things, don't visit that person's channel on YouTube. Don't visit that person's page on Facebook. Don't go to that person's Twitter feed. If that guy's going to offend you, if he's saying what you consider offensive stuff, you're the captain of your own ship. You're the master of your own vessel. Stop being offended. And what kills me about Carlos Maza is that he's so in tune to what Steven Crowder says that either he or one of his staff, or he had one of his staff, go through Crowder's videos over the last 2 years and pick out those little snippets of Crowder talking about Maza. How's that for, talk about going out of your way to be offended. Here, let's take 2 years of content, 7 or 8 videos or whatever it was, and concentrate it, and then let me put it up on my Twitter account. The thing that offends me, let me put it on my Twitter feed in a concentrated form. Oh, God. Is he gay? Yes. Is he Latino? Yes. Does he have a lisp? Somewhat. I mean, I hear the guy talk, I hear heavier lisps than other people, but it's all just factual stuff. And then you add all this together, and then you have Steven Crowder and his crew laughing in the background about it. So what? Who got hurt? Who was harmed? And if somebody wants to be an ass and make fun of your race, or make fun of your, your mannerisms, your lisp, or make fun of your sexual orientation, okay, that just shows you what kind of person they are, right? If it's that big a deal to them, where they feel like, it makes them feel better to make fun of you, who cares? Who cares? The big takeaway here is, do you want free speech or do you not want free speech? Because if you don't allow hate speech, I got something coming up on my phone here. What is that? If you don't allow hate speech, if you censor hate speech, if you control hate speech, you don't have free speech. Do not call yourself a free speech platform if you're going to censor so-called hate speech or offensive speech or harassment. Don't call yourself a free speech platform. That's a perfect segue into join me on BitChute, guys. I can't stress this enough. This channel will not be around forever. It could be gone tomorrow. Join my High Impact Flicks channel on BitChute. I'm also under High Impact Flicks on DTube, which is linked with Steemit, the cryptocurrency. On DLive, I'm going to try to, get that going this week or in the next couple weeks. Minds.com. Join me on Gab. All these people hate censorship. Hate it. Not like Dorsey's Twitter and Zuckerberg's Facebook or Susan Wojcicki's $70 billion lost YouTube experiment. Get on Gab, get on Minds.com, follow me on BitChute. All these links are in the description below, but especially follow me on my private email list through my website, highimpactflicks.com. Because they're trying to eradicate speech, guys. They call it hate speech, but it's basically stuff that they don't agree with and they don't want it around. That's the bottom line. Because mainstream media does not want dissenting voices. Hey man, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you guys enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.